Hi guys, my name is Shmuley Hoffman. I'm the founder of Filmmaker. First of all, thank you so much for joining our little tribe of successful filmmakers and business stewards. I'm really appreciating this, and thank you very much. So since I launched Filmmaker, I'm getting flooded with lots of emails asking the question over and over again. Shmuley, how do you find new and profitable clients? First, I was really, a little bit taken back and surprised by that question. But then I realized that an actionable tool and strategies to make that happen are what people were missing. So there is so much work, film work, video work, commercial work out there, and I couldn't put the two and two together. So just as an example, within 2 years, YouTube has doubled its revenue to over $5 billion a year. I know this is just YouTube and there's a lot of non-professional videos there, but it just shows us that there is a huge demand since the social media revolution for communicating with your audience via video. Companies and businesses need more videos than ever, and they communicate their message with their audience. So what is here the issue? That some pros find work like crazy and others are really struggling with getting by. I don't think it's a matter of missing talent. Okay, here we go. Now I show you basically 3 steps how to get the clients you want and to really drill down into your ideal customer, into your ideal client that you want to serve and that you want to do video and film production with. Here we go. How to get profitable customers. The first step is define your ideal customer. So what are the characteristics of your dream client? You have to be aware of that before you get started. So for me personally, I need high value per customer, meaning the customers of my potential client. So to give you an example, I think a car dealer would be great because his customers are high value customers. They pay a lot of money for their car. And the reason why I want to do that is I know that when I bring in results, he will immediately see that in his bottom line. And then the next thing is to make sure that he generates enough money so that he can, pay for his business, obviously, but that we also know that there is enough revenue in there that he would invest into marketing and videos. So and that brings us then to the next point, that he understands the importance of marketing. You don't want to deal and work with someone who has absolutely no clue about marketing and thinks it's totally irrelevant. You don't need to even waste your time on that. I prefer, to deal with people either owner-operated or the second man in the company. Usually it's a director of marketing or a partner, as opposed to, let's say, a franchise. The reason what is I don't want to go through iterations and iterations of different boards and different people, and as you know, too many cooks kind of spoil the soup. So ideal is basically getting the owner to work with him directly. Then I go to their website and then I make sure that they don't have already really great video content on their side. And if I see that they have already great content on their side, then it's probably much harder to get through them and to make a good sales pitch why they should have video content on their side if they have already a vendor that they have successfully worked with. I make sure that my potential clients are in close proximity. I chose a radius between 50 and 100 miles, so for me it's going all the way up to New York City. I'm also determining if the business or whatever they are doing, what they are in, that this is like a very lucrative, super niche business. And I would count in also nonprofits. Nonprofits are, I see them as businesses as well. Nonprofits try, for example, to raise lots of money, millions of dollars. So that is great. So I'm looking out for that. So some examples here from the business world are cosmetic surgeons, private schools. They have a lot of money. Dentists, obviously, high-priced item for them, right? Luxury real estate brokers, even better. Their profits supersede often 5 and 6 figures, so an easy sell. So I'm trying in general to look something where there are high priced items that can, that they are selling, that they are making money off. So my bill and video production and film production is expensive fits right in there. Why a super niche? I think the old approach was to go wide, to go broad. That's what television does. I think the internet minimizes and decreases the ad budgets more and more and more, because people come to realize they can target the same people for a fraction of the price. And that's where it's coming handy if you utilize the internet and using people and choosing clients that primarily or have a large interest in going online and servicing their clients over there. In a super niche, clients are pretty easy to manage because of familiarity. So if I have just, right now I'm in the nonprofit world and I'm familiar with that field, I'm familiar with the jargon, how to talk to them and so on. I can reference to other people, common people that we know. So it's very easy to get by and get familiar easily because making business is always, a trust thing. As opposed to if I would go into the medical business, I don't know anybody there. Unless I'm pulling basically, let's say, my own ethnicity, for example, in this case, being Jewish or German, I try to find commonalities. And I think in a super niche, that's easy to find. When you work in a super niche, you also become known as the specialist and go-to person in that very super niche. Because if I'm specialized in, let's say, car dealership, guess who they want to hire for their ads? Someone who's familiar already with the needs and with the ads of car dealerships. So the nichier you go, the thinner your super niche, the less competition you have. Because let's say in the medical field, if you kind of split that up, not just medical in general, but let's say hospital and then physicians and then dentists and cardiologists. So you could become a vendor for one of those super niches. And then since there are so many super niches, it's very unlikely that two filmmakers or two video producing companies are servicing the very same niche. Once you establish yourself, you can basically charge higher rates. The super niche is also very simple and cheap to advertise to. Working in the super niche is also great, because there's faster word of mouth going on about a certain vendor, in this case you, because they know each other in the industry. The challenge here is that there is overlapping competition. So imagine we could find dentists who generate over $3 million per year. How would that be if we could just define how much money a certain potential client makes? Imagine we could find only the ones that do advertising. Wouldn't that be awesome? Then we know already it's an easy sell to them, coming in and say, hey, if you sell with a video on a website, that it converts much more leads into buyers than just with a written copy. Imagine we could find businesses who deal just with affluent people, because what that means is the business itself is affluent as well. Imagine it would be easy to get our clients great and quick results. Imagine they are ready to book you as a premium service provider. When you set yourself up in a certain revenue threshold, you can price yourself in the same way. So it would be really not a smart idea to all of a sudden playing the cheap game and trying to outbid that competition in that niche. Because if someone sells a high price item, they are for sure going with a premium service provider in order to maintain that high level of confidence, trust, and business activity. What if the data you gather could be used in your sales process to your potential client? So the thing that I will show you here is you not just can use it for your own data sourcing, but you can also help your clients to find their ideal customers. So imagine you could go into a negotiation and say, yeah, I know your customers already. This and this and this is what they are looking for. Here's what they spend in advertising. Here's where they live. I think we should, target them with this kind of ad. I mean, you look very, very different. You come almost like a company insider or a business insider into their business, as opposed to just competing on the kind of, oh, I can do it all filmmaker kind of low level, and then they're just going on Craigslist and find the cheapest dude with a video camera. So we want to validate that there is a market for us out there that is profitable and gives us enough leverage, that we can define and find the ideal client for us who is able to pay what we think our work is worth. Furthermore, we can determine who is the ideal customer for our potential clients, as I just explained to you. When we go ahead and contact them, we are now equipped with some cool sales hacks. We can show him that we know a lot about his niche and come across like an industry insider as opposed to be an industry outsider. That builds trust and the sales much easier to do. Therefore, we can get him the results that he's looking for, helping him expand his business, and that's what everybody is interested in. And it will impress him right off the bat and makes the sale just very easy. So I give you today now your first practical task. Please take 5 minutes before you continue in this video to just write down how would that client look like. Write down what it is, how much money you think they should make, advertising budget, what kind of personality maybe they should be. Should it be a CEO? Should it be a director of marketing? Should it be a big business, a small business? You have to figure this out with your own personal values and the direction you want to take your business in. Step 2, process of contact. So how do we contact them? We want to use email to contact them. So we want to figure out what emails do they have. We want to get their phone number for direct contact, to contact them personally. We want to use direct mail since it's underused in the era of email and internet. We found that direct mail and using channels that nobody does anymore, for example, direct call, direct mail, personal visits, you have no competition anymore. It's not like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where everybody was doing this. Now everybody wants just easy and rejectionless. Like email is like easy, you just send it out, doesn't hurt. There's no real person on the other end, and if they reject you, it doesn't hurt. But it's much harder to be rejected on the phone or in person. But it's also, your closing ratio is much higher than email because it's not personalized. They see you. And then finally, my ninja hack: use their phone numbers to build a targeted custom audience and advertise with them on Facebook. And I know you probably think, oh, you know what, I'm never advertising. But you know what, advertising nowadays is so cheap. It costs you really literally a few dollars to reach and advertise to a super targeted custom audience. Advertising on Facebook as opposed to Google, like those Google ads. So you can do this within Facebook. It's completely underused. Nobody does that. You are the only one, or one of the few ones who know about those channels. You have virtually no competition. On email, if you send them an email, they get probably hundreds of emails, people saying that they want to work with them and they want to get them as a client. If you do it through those channels that nobody's using anymore, you have a huge advantage. And now, step 3. Here is my secret weapon in order to determine what client is the ideal client for me. And I will show this to you here, live and in a very practical way. So let's hop over to the internet. Open up your browser and type in infousa.com. Then we want to, you can find consumers, businesses. So I'm after businesses, obviously. And you can decide if you want, mailing list and sales lead or creating a marketing campaign. So I want to just search what's going on. Then I find businesses, and then you go over here to get started. Okay, here we are. First, after you wrote down your task, what kind of industry you are looking for, you determine now or find if there is actually a market for you in that business. So now we choose basically an industry, choose an industry and category from the list here. So I'm just randomly going after, let's say, services. And let's just go after, some health services. Let's say dentists, for example. Now you want to know, over here on this side, you see that you have 10 million leads, and that's obviously the whole US, and we're not looking for the whole US. We will narrow it down, but this is the size for now. So I want to know the sales volume. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I want to basically drill down. I'm interested in people with 1 million to 5, 10 million of yearly revenue. So I update my count here, 29,000 leads. That's much better, much more doable. But we also want to know how much they spend on advertising. So we go to business expenses and then select category. Can have all kinds of business expenses. If you think it makes more sense to look for something else, I'm looking for advertising. I click in here. Now I see what kind of range I want them to advertise. So $5,000 till $10,000 is a little tight. There's not much left for video production. $10,000 till $20,000 is also quite tight, but it's probably better than nothing. Maybe we just start with 20 and add that, and then 50 and add that, 100 and add that, over 250,000. Okay, 6,692 leads. Okay, great. Now you want to figure out where are they located. So the geography obviously is very important. So geography here. So you can type in your area codes. You can type in your cities. So since we defined, we have a pretty big radius, 50 to 100 miles, I defined. So for me, it's okay. I can, select a state, let's say New York. And then as a city, I want to choose New York, and add that. Could also put in, let's say, Newark would be fine too, because we are in, Newark, and then update our account. So we have 155 leads. That's not so bad. So we know that they kind of make $1 till $20 million. What happens if I decrease, let's say, the $20 million to have more people? 154 leads. So if I drill this even more down, I can change the variables here. And then figure out, if I get more leads. But at this point, 155 is perfectly to advertise. I personally would then go actually one step further, because, when I approach them, I have nothing in common with them yet. I would just, figure out, say, ethnicity. I'm Jewish. And I go here on other selections and then go down to ethnicity and then choose Jewish. And then let's see what the update count here is. 19 leads. Okay, excellent. So 19 leads of with Jewish background, ethnicity, dentists, making $1 till $10 million and advertised between $20,000 and $250,000 in New York City and Newark. Now, if you after business, let's say wealthy areas, for example, what you might want to do is you want to use then, a separate search on, wealthy areas. So I would type in wealthy zip codes USA, and then here 100 wealthiest area codes, and here you have it. So you have then basically kind of average salaries. So it's New York. Here's the zip code. You put in then 10022. You can basically dial in really, really well on certain neighborhoods and area codes with a little quick search, and then you would just type that in geography by area codes and type in all your area codes that you are looking for. Okay, I told you about the ninja hack. Once you get basically their phone numbers, then you can use that in order to target them with Facebook ads. It's super, super targeted, and you could really hone a message just for that target audience in. So how do we do that? So we go here to market type, then you can choose, instead of mailing, you get the calling list, so you get the phone number of those people, you save that, and it updates here. And then what you would do is see price, and as soon as you have see price, then you have to log in and you have to sign in, and then you buy this list. In general, the price is roughly 30 cents per name and telephone number. And I think it's a really good deal. Imagine you have to go out and meet in, let's say, 1,000 people, and harvest from them all those informations. So this is a really easy and cheap way of getting actually to the audience that you are looking for. So once we have the phone numbers, then we go over to Facebook. And on Facebook, I go to my ads manager and I create a new ad. I'm just walking through this here very quickly because that's obviously, this is already a long tutorial, and this is for sure a different one. I just want to give you an idea what you can do with it. So if I have here my ad, and I want to get my audience, here's my audiences. So I can choose my custom audience, and I create a new audience, and then I can upload basically from my desktop a data file. And then this data file can be anything from a user ID, an email, or a phone number. So I can then hit phone number, upload all of those phone numbers, and then Facebook automatically would search for those Facebook IDs, and then you have that group, those people that you searched in this InfoUSA, on this InfoUSA side, you find them now on Facebook, and then you can basically parallel, like call them, you can send them direct mail, and you can basically target them on Facebook for very little money. I think at the moment Facebook is one of the most effective advertising platforms that there is, and I highly recommend you to do that, to use that, to utilize that. My last thing that I want to show you is, if you need, over here on InfoUSA, you have to basically pay for those leads. If you just need quickly an address or a phone number from a specific group, you could use the following web link: the directmarketingsearch.com. thedirectmarketingsearch.com. Over here you can search basically all kinds of lists and businesses and agencies. So you could go, let's say if you want to work with ad agencies, you go right in here and find all the agencies that you are looking for, and you drill really down your custom audience here as well. And the cool thing is that you have already all their information in here. So this is much better and faster to search this way than, let's say, Google, and it's all not listed in one little nice window. So the next step would be then obviously to contact them and to advertise to them, negotiate with them, and so on. And I don't leave you here hanging. It's just a lot of content and a lot of things to share. So this will be all packaged in future episodes. How to talk to clients, how to use psychological negotiation hacks in order to convince them that you are the right person, and using body language and all that kind of stuff to close deals. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I hope you found this valuable. I know it was a long video, but I tried to pack it with as much practical application and information so that you can utilize it, can use it today in your business, and can grow your business. If you have any questions, my email is on the screen, and please write me an email if you have any other questions, or you have any comments or any topics that you want me to discuss or search for. It could be that you come up with something that I haven't even looked into it. Please be in touch with me, and I want to make it as close with you as possible. And again, thank you very, very much that you are one of our tribe members here at Filmmaker. And since you are now signed up, there will be a lot of updates coming to you, I hope you will be in touch with me, and this will grow your business. Additionally, I want to hear also if you have great success with the stuff that I'm sharing here with you. So all the best, and thank you. Bye.